the Imperial Stormtrooper. Stormtroopers are elite shock troopers frantically loyal to the Empire and impossible to sway from the Imperial cause. They wear imposing white armour, which offers a wide range of survival equipment.
Hello and welcome to another Centurion's Corner, and today we're reviewing the Star Wars Imperial Stormtrooper from The Mandalorian. So it's kind of weird actually that they've gone for The Mandalorian to bring out the new Stormtrooper. I mean, we have the remnant Stormtroopers from The Mandalorian, but it doesn't say that on here, and they're not all dusty and weathered as they are in sort of like the 3.75. So it is a bit strange that they released this one in this kind of packaging, I suppose. But nonetheless, I like to see a new mould of a Stormtrooper. I've never been 100% on the original. I always found it a little bit a bit weird. I think it's always in the helmet department, but this one looks fantastic. And as an ex-member of the UK garrison, I just think it just looks pretty cool. It kind of looks like armour. It looks like an armoured guy rather than just like it's a figure that's made to look like a Stormtrooper. So anyway, before we get all into that, we've got him here in the window. We've got his E11 up in the top right hand corner. He's got that kind of gold orange that is kind of reminiscence of the now Mandalorian packaging. We've got that Stormtrooper down the side of the Mandalorian continuation there on the side. On the back we've got the picture and his bio, and on this side it's just carrying on all the way through that colour. So without further ado, let's just crack this bad boy open. So here he is in his blister pack. There's nothing else kind of hidden away apart from his bottom of his feet, and no extra accessories, as we used to get the heavy kind of carbine rifle as well with the Stormtroopers back in the day. So first impressions, let's just pull him out. And it's looking pretty cool. I've heard a lot of people talking about that their helmets are slightly warped and all that because inside is a clone head, but I think I've been lucky here, so I'll just take them away and see you in a moment. So here he is, the main man himself, and I must admit, if anyone's out there worrying about this new mould, then okay, maybe the helmet issues out there are putting people off, but actually this guy is fantastic and he looks incredible. He photographs really well and he's really poseable as well, and he just seems pretty cool. We'll just do his general review as well. We'll go through everything of him, and also we'll do a comparison to the older Stormtrooper that we used to once have. So starting off, really, he comes with his one accessory, which is E11, and it fits in his hands like quite nicely and really well. And we have actually got two trigger fingers, which is quite handy if you ever wanted to do any other thing on there. The only thing is the hand doesn't really sort of support it, but nonetheless it's kind of there anyway. But maybe further down the line they've got some other accessories to come out for these guys for future releases. He hasn't got any holster to put this in. I haven't actually checked on the in Mandalorian actually if they do have holsters, but I would imagine they have, because half of them at the end were actually the 501st, so they don't have any holsters there, so which is a little bit odd, to be honest. But the actual E11 slightly different again. We have this sort of torch part up the top here as well. There's no actual paint applications on there, but the detailing and the gun is fine, but it is slightly different to what we used to get. So I'm just pulling out of this guy over here, and as you can see it's actually shorter. I always found the other ones as well, they always kind of like went upwards, kind of like elonged upwards. So yeah, they've actually re-sculpted the E11 as well, looking pretty cool. So the extra other parts that you can tell that's different is like the ammo parts on the side is a lot longer, and the gun part with the scope on the side. So in all, definitely a bonus and definitely an improvement forward by Hasbro. And then really we can go into his articulation, which is where this guy really excels. He has just got single jointed elbows and knees, but it doesn't really hinder him too badly, to be honest. So up the top here, inside, as we said before, we have got the head of a clone trooper, but at the top we've got an upper swivel on the ball joint, and it's also in the lower movement as well, down in the bottom of the actual neck. So we've got upper arm rotation going around, but it won't go all the way because we've got this extra armor part that's on top of the butterfly hinge that we have here. So as you can see, it's all sculpted and all that in there, you can see. But yeah, so it just fits at the top on that butterfly with this part here. So it always sits nicely in line, and that's what I like. It kind of sort of flaps out like the actual wheel armors do. You know, they're not sort of like rigid and down. We have the rotation here at the elbow. There's no sort of upper arm rotation at the top here. It's just all in this single joint down here. His arm comes up more than 90 degrees, and also his hand is rotational and is on a hinge. We've got a nice ab crunch that goes all the way down, and he comes back as well. And this part is actually separate to the actual torso itself. As you can see, it's moving up and down. So again, you can get a little bit more kind of lean back and forward by leaning up things, or you can push it back down and whatnot. His legs as well, they can come out this far, they can come up all the way up this way, and they can go back this far. His upper thigh rotation here, his knee, we get a single joint, but does come up quite far due to the actual armour part there. But I'm not being funny, but not a lot of people can bend their legs back further than this. We've got a hinge and a pivot at the ankle as well. So in all, even though it's a brand new sculpt, we're not losing any articulation compared to the original either. And it's just an actual pretty good effort, I think, by Hasbro themselves. And the look of the Stormtrooper as well, I just think it looks phenomenal. I just think it actually looks great. It actually looks like, as I said before, just someone wearing a bit of armour, especially this bit up here. It's all sort of flappy. This bit's a bit more bulkier than the actual guy itself, and the armour just sort of like just glistens in the light as well. So with the helmet, we've just got all that kind of glossiness on the eyes. We've got the blue kind of rivet parts down on the side, and the silver there on the decals. On the back, just still looking nicely. I don't remember this sort of dent part here though. That's the only thing. I don't know if that's new to the actual Remnant Stormtroopers. We've got the thermal detonator on the back. On the front, nice gloss abs, and down here it's kind of a little bit strange down here on the blobs down here, and I've looked online and all of them are a bit like that. They're not as defined as before with the buttons, etc. The belt is different again compared to the old original, and these parts here are actually kind of more there, but it's actually very soft and they don't get in the way of the actual figure itself. And yeah, just in all, like the sculpt of the actual undersuit as well, you can see, and it just, everything looks phenomenal. I just think they've done on par now. To me, it's, you know, it's almost like a, kid me if I'm wrong, I know a lot of people are hot toy people out there, but the actual sculpt and everything of this figure, I think it just looks absolutely great. So grabbing the original, and you can just compare straight away. Just, I think it makes the other one kind of look a bit like a bootleg now. It just really sort of actually makes it just not looking good. And you can tell by the helmet straight away that this one just looks superb. The actual sort of upper torso as well. We've got the back. Unfortunately, we haven't got no hull on this one, so we can't bring over the accessories from this figure onto here. It would be a kind of a bit of a mod in that one. The thermal detonator and stuff on the back. Obviously this one has got the holster, which I think is a massive loss for these guys. I think they just lose a slight point there for me. And then going down to the legs, and you can see like the actual armour part down here is more defined and just actually more sort of sculpt in a way, and just looking 10 times better. Just looking really cool. The only thing that really annoys me is that now we got this guy, you know, we got him here, and we got the older one, and they kind of sort of like really thrashed out the older sculpt right at the end. Obviously we got the Rocket Trooper that's there, which is on the old sort of moulded body, and they kind of brought out the silver one, which I haven't got, but they brought out the Commander Stormtrooper. They brought out the other Force Unleashed Trooper, which was this one. And then also we got this guy. Oh, hang on, that's tomorrow's episode. But you know, it just kind of annoys me that they kind of brought all these guys out at that kind of last stage of the Stormtrooper life, and then they bring out a whole new sculpt, just making all the others just look a little bit kind of a bit old, I suppose, really quickly. So anyway, that brings me to the end of this review for the Stormtrooper from Mandalorian. What do you think of this guy? Do you think it's an improvement? Do you think it's a step back? I actually, in my opinion, think it looks fantastic, as you know, with the review. And you can comment down below, you can let me know on Instagram, which is in the description, and you can subscribe and like. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye!